Welcome everyone. Good to see you again in our next presentation. Same industry analysis on the consumer sector. Today we are going to talk about the subsector food and drink. So we have about 40 companies in this group of food and beverages or food and drinks. With various subsector, we'll take a look in the next few slides. The next one, this is the picture showing you the index profile, the period of end of 2011 until today. So you see in this caption, the uptrend is continue, and then we see in the few weeks before today, there is a rally with quite significant jump on the market price. So in this profile of sector consists of four subsector, namely tobacco, pharmacy, food and drink, cosmetic, and household. So there are four subsector. If you see the last few weeks, index jump up 37% in the average last 2 months. Actually, uptrend maintained since 2011 at the rate of 23% or something and stabilized. For this specific presentation, we are now only talking about food and drink with a market capitalization of 226 trillion, which is accounted 21% of the total sector index of the total consumer sector of 1075 trillion rupiah. The other subsector, tobacco, accounted 46%, and then the next is cosmetic and household, accounted 22%, and pharmacy is 11%. So the sector is dominated by subsector tobacco, followed by food and drinks, followed by cosmetic and household, food and drink, and pharmacy. So let's see next the company profile based on the ranking on asset. You see in this caption there is a stock code, company, asset value, revenue, earning after tax, free cash flow, working capital, and then financial ratio. If you see based on asset, we categorize the top three, which asset only consists of three companies with a value of above 8 trillion up to less than 60 trillion. Actually, the first two, Indofood Sukses Makmur and Indofood CBP, they belong to the one group, Indofood Group, which asset 18 trillion and 59 trillion respectively. So if we see those first three, the best performance according to financial ratio is Indofood CBP with return on equity 19 and return on asset 13%, followed by Mayora with return on equity 24% and return on asset 9%. So if you see the next group or a second group, marked by gray background. There are 6 companies, and you see the best performance being the Multi Bintang Indonesia with the return on equity 137, and then return on asset 39%, followed by Roti Nippon Indosari company, the bread company, with the return on asset 12% and return on equity 25. And the next is Ultra Jaya Milk, the milk company, with 15% return on asset and 23% return on equity. The third group belong to small cap and speculative with the asset under 1 trillion. The highest is around 800 billion rupiah. So the best of those, the third line or the small cap is ADES, the mineral water company, and Delta Jakarta, the Holik or beer company, with above 20% return on asset and above 30% return on equity. So if you see based on the asset rank, the first 2 companies belong to one group, is one of them, let's say Indofood, and with the rest total is bigger. It's a bigger. And the number 2 also, if minus Indofood and the rest combined, can be about not so big difference, So next one is we see the prospect of the company, the prospect of investment. If you see, is again the same rank based on an asset. So you see in the subsector instant belong to the first 2, dominated as the food and drink subsector, and followed by snack, drinks, and milk. The rest is some various food and beverages businesses. You see, if we talking about the rank based on the market capitalization in billion rupiah, you see this is the rank. So the first and 1 and 2 is still dominated by Indofood Group, and the third is Mayora, and the fourth is Multi Bintang, the beer and alcohol beverages. The fourth one of the rank is Ultra Jaya. You see, Multi Bintang, if we rank in the asset value, is only let's check the previous one. You see that Multi Bintang asset is only 1 trillion, 1 trillion, 1.1 trillion is it is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9 in terms of asset, but if we rank based on market cap, is number 4. You see, Multi Bintang actually also, if we talk about the earning after tax or the bottom line, they are quite good number, is 450 billion in rupiah. So if we rank based on earning after tax, they are placed in number 4. If we are talking about revenue, it's not so big. Is still number 9 or number 8. But if you talk about the profit, the net profit, so Multi Bintang, we can conclude that they are the most profitable in this group. Even though that the asset is quite small, but it showed a very productive company, very profitable, and then the market capitalization also in the number 4 out of 5 big ones. So Multi Bintang we consider as good company, even though the price is now 1.2 million in rupiah. If we talk about the valuation, you see here the valuation is much lower. It's only 160 or 170,000, but the price is far above 1.2. Well, actually, such a company, because the share issued is very small, it can be controlled by certain group, certain institution. It's difficult to control based on the price, based on the real supply and demand of the market, because a very small share outstanding. So it's very difficult to get this company, and according to true value, the valuation is much lower, so the price is too expensive at this moment. So if we check the second line also, you see the price is already overvalued. Almost all of them already overvalued. Let's check the price in the first line, the big caps. You see Indofood Group overvalued, the price is too expensive. Mayora also overvalued. Multi Bintang, Ultra Jaya Milk also overvalued. If we see the second line, all of them already expensive. And then the smaller group, the small cap, you see also the price is already expensive, even though that because we still consider this expensive, because the gap between low valuation and high valuation is have a big gap, quite a big gap. So in this case, if we see the previous chart, if we compare the price today with the valuation of today also, all the price in the sector already overvalued. But it may worth of buying if we talk about the prospect early 2013 in this area. But after this area, let's say there is a 6-month period, so the first 3-4 months it is worth it to buy, but after that it's too expensive. Okay, let's see the true value history. So we see in this caption the background gray with the code VH is valuation high band, and the yellow or the pink background marked by VL, which is valuation low. We started with 10, it is 2010, 2011, 2012, and then 2013 at this moment. So you can check one by one. The valuation is growing, most of them, not all of them. If we see Indofood, CBP is growing, especially they jump up from 2012 and now 2013, it jumped about 2000 more in the gap, price gap. Indofood, ENDF, on the other hand, dropped from 7,800 to around 7,000. Mayora also dropped a little, dropped slight only. The biggest drop is Multibintang from 350 to 175. Ultra Jaya Milk also is up from 3,000 to 3,400. Roti went down very deep from 3,000 to 1,300. The LTA drops, Aisa drop, STTP drop, Ades drop, Sobi drop. So it is very risky and very speculative. If we talk the profile in the second slide, there is a rally. This is a rally and a big jump of the market price. But if we compare what's happening in the valuation, true value of the company over time in the last 3 years, in average, they are suffer a quite a drop. So it's very speculative. So in this presentation, we just concentrate on the top 3 companies, which is Indofood Group and then Mayora. So we see in the Indofood Sukses Makmur, ENDF, the company in the top line growth is quite stable, even though declining the bottom line. You see the top line is growing to up 10% and the bottom line dropped to negative 2%. Surplus also declining from above 1,000 and now it's only below 10 per share. So it's quite significant drop both in the free cash flow and then in the liquidation value compared to previous year to 2011. On the other financial ratio, debt equity ratio still maintained below industry standard, is below 2.0. Gross margin quite stable, above 27%. Profit margin above 10% stable or 10%. Return on equity also well around 15, 16, 14%. So next one is Indofood CBP. It is belong the same group. Top line growth quite stable. In average 10% in the last 3 years. Bottom line dropped slightly from around, let's say, 20% more. Now it's only 10% in the last quarter. True value still keeping uptrend. You see there's 6,000 to 6,200 is about the same, stable. Financial ratio, debt equity ratio below industry standard. Gross margin also stable 26-27. Profit margin above 10%, and then return on equity stable about 20% or more. So the last one would be Mete Mayora, the crackers company. Top line growth declining, but still positive 11% in the last quarter, 2012. Bottom line go up quite sharp, about 50% in the last quarter 2012. but true value drop slightly. Why is drop? Although the free cash flow grow up in the uptrend, you see the free cash flow jump up quite or compared to the 2011, it's almost double, but it's dropped because the weak in the balance sheet. If we see the liquidation value dropped significantly because increase in the total debt. So there is such a company is quite sensitive to the change in the loan structure or capital structure. So if there is some big impact or a big change in the debt in the capital structure, so the value will also have a sensitive impact. Well, thank you. So we will see you next time. Thank you.